The study of Antarctica is essential because it might provide scientists with answers to a wide variety of questions. The landmass that makes up the planet's most southerly continent is surrounded on all four sides by water. Antarctica receives the least amount of snow of any continent, which contributes to its status as the harshest continent. The sort of terrain that lie underneath the ice, the operation of glaciers, and the question of whether or not flowing streams of lakes underneath the ice increase the movement of ice sheets are all topics of interest to researchers. They are interested in discovering what forms of life may be able to flourish there, as well as specific kinds of adaptations that certain organisms have developed. They need concrete proof of the consequences of global warming and the dangers it brings to mankind and other creatures. Here in this video, we'll be talking about scientists' new discovery under Antarctica's ice. Stay with us to the end of the video. There's a lot of information to be revealed. The frozen island of Antarctica was sighted in the year 1820. However, several archaeologists have placed suspicion on John Davis's assertion that he was the initial individual who stepped down in Antarctica in 1821. During the first few decades of the 21st century, two competing groups of investigators raced across the desolate landscape of Antarctica in an effort to be the ones to set foot where no human had ever set foot yet. The English naval captain, Robert Scott, and the Norwegian investigator, Roald Amundsen, led their expeditions. Amundsen was from Norway, whereas Scott was from England. In the end, on December 14, 1912, it was determined that Amundsen's team had completed the journey to the South Pole in less than the allotted 99 days. Approximately 4 weeks later, on January 17, 1913, Scott and his party finally made it to the geographic North Pole. However, neither of them made it back alive. A search group found Scott and his remaining co-workers on the snow, resting in their tents, 11 miles away from their previously known source of water and nutrition. Ernest Shackleton, a British researcher raised in Ireland, set out to be the first to finish the approximately 2,100-kilometer overland expedition over Antarctica through the South Pole in 1914. Shackleton's voyage began at the South Pole. Shackleton and his team of 28 men never managed to make their way across the continent, despite the fact that they overcame enormous odds. However, none of them were hurt on the way home. The Antarctic continent is home to a relatively small variety of plant species, the majority of which are lichens, mosses, and terrestrial microalgae. This type of flora is abundant in Antarctica's north and coastal regions, whereas the continent's core has minimal to no plants. On the contrary, the ocean is teeming with different kinds of fish and other aquatic organisms. In fact, the seas that encircle Antarctica are some of the most biodiverse anywhere on the planet. The process of uppoling encourages the development of hundreds of different species of phytoplankton and algae. There are also thriving colonies of bluefin humpback whales in Antarctica. The leopard seal is yet another fascinating mammal found in the Antarctica region. Amongst the most dangerous predators in the ocean, a leopard seal is considered one of the top predators in Antarctica. This 3-meter-tall, 400-kilogram monster has incredibly long and strong teeth and uses these teeth to rip through its food, including fish and penguins. On the other hand, the penguin is the Antarctic creature that has gained the most notoriety. They've evolved the ideal characteristics for life in Chile's coastal regions, such as wings that can be used as flippers when flying through the water. In addition, they're able to keep air-filled layer beneath their plumes, which assists them in maintaining their body temperature in the icy water. Even though it does not have a stable people, the Antarctic has long been a place of fascination for humans. These professionals come from a wide range of states and manage research centers that are funded by a variety of different governments. The area is a bustling outpost for a wide diversity of research professionals. Researchers working in Antarctica made a startling discovery. They found evidence of a mysterious world hiding beneath the continent's ice. This information astounded the researchers. More than 500 meters beneath the surface of the ice continent, the scientists found a diverse biosphere thriving. They were able to uncover a hidden subsurface habitat that was located beneath the continental shelf. The Larsen Ice Shelf is a gigantic floating ice sheet connected to an eastern coast of Antarctic Peninsula. This ice shelf is responsible for creating the largest glacier in the history of the previous year. Researchers were able to determine that a subsurface river was after that, analyzing satellite photographs that showed an odd trench in the ice shelf close to where it met the ground. According to a press release, in order to approach the underground vault, a crew excavated nearly 500 meters below the surface of Isis, using a powerful hot hose pipe, allowing them to scorch their path towards the hidden underground chamber. The study showed that the live video was being obstructed by many, very few fuzzy flakes floating in the water after sending a camera through the icy passage and into the vault. After reframing the lens, the crew discovered that it had been smeared with anthropoid crustaceans, leading them to believe that their hardware was defective. The researchers were taken aback from this discovery because they had not expected to find any signs of life so deep beneath the ice surface. The fact that all those species are swimming so close to the camera suggests that it's an important part of the ecosystem as being processed there right now. We've already told you about the variety of creatures that make their homes on the ice continent, but we were astonished to learn that pigs have never been seen in this remote area until now. Yes, pigs, you've got that right, but not pigs you're picturing. Those pigs are entirely different. Instead, these Antarctic pigs, sometimes known as sea pigs, are a particular kind of sea cucumber. Most of us are used to seeing sea cucumbers shaped like cucumbers, but sea cucumbers can also take on other forms. These pinkish creatures with quite lardy legs raise their path through the deep ocean floor, consuming trash and occasionally dead whales. They are strangely intriguing creatures. Like sea urchins and starfish, sea cucumbers are invertebrates found in the ocean. They have been discovered not only in Antarctica, but also in the oceans of the rest of the world. The Antarctic is a unique destination, but despite being extremely isolated and located a great distance from any contemporary civilization, researchers have just discovered something that they thought they would not find in such a remote area: a significant amount of microplastic. The persistent finding of microplastics in what appear to be untouched regions of the planet adds an interesting aspect to the alarming picture of pervasive pollution, and the latest finds puts danger in uncharted territory. However, what precisely are these microplastics? As their name implies, microplastics are tiny particles made of plastic. More formally, they're referred to as polymers, with a dimension of fewer than 5 millimeters. The problem with microplastics is that, like other types of plastics, they do not simply break down into safe particles. The disintegration process for plastic can take tens of thousands of years. Microplastics, which may be seen as microscopic, colorful plastic particles in the sand or on coastlines, are currently causing havoc on the ecosystem. In the meantime, microplastics are visible on beaches. Marine animals throughout the oceans commonly consume the microplastic debris that is present there. Only recently, researchers uncovered the first proof of microplastics in newly fallen snow in Antarctica. These microplastics were detected in substantially higher amounts than previously observed in the oceans bordering Antarctica. Researchers are expanding the scope of their investigations into the dispersion of plastic waste, and as a result, they are finding minuscule fragments of the substance in a variety of unexpected locations. In this desolate area, scientists have just discovered some of the fascinating space rocks. However, these specks were not sourced from Mars, but came from the Moon. Moon rocks have always been fascinating for researchers to investigate, but not just the rocky elements that are intriguing. The gas inside these space rocks is just as fascinating as the material itself. A recent study of 6 lunar meteorites discovered in Antarctica yielded the first evidence that the Moon obtained chemical components from inside of the Earth. The finding supports the massive impact theory, which maintains that our galaxy's most enduring companion was produced when something enormous crashed into the Earth in the ancient past. This cooling procedure resulted in the formation of lunaparticles within specimens that contain chemical residues of solar gases. The meteorites are composed of basalt, an igneous rock formed when magma wells up from the Moon's core and swiftly cools. The discovery of solar gases in lunar basaltic elements are not linked to any contact on the lunar surface produced an extremely intriguing result. This finding leads credence to the idea that the moon was brought into existence by a cataclysmic event. It may open the door to additional investigations into formations of stony worlds in our solar system. In 1959, 12 countries with scientists based in or around Antarctica signed an accord to assure that Antarctica would always and permanently be utilized for benign reasons and would not become the location or subject of international controversy. As part of Argentina's efforts to assert its rights to land in Antarctica, the country dispatched a pregnant woman to the ice continent. Emily Marco Palma, a baby boy, became the first person to be conceived solely on the southernmost land in January 1979. He is the first human born on the southern continent. It is not common to use huskies to carry sledges in this part of Antarctic Peninsula. Since the year 1994, Antarctica has become off-limits to the importation of any exotic flora or creatures. The majority of the people who live on the ice travel using motorized vehicles. Regardless of the fact that volcanic eruptions in 1967 and 69 caused the destruction of science infrastructure on the island, visitors continue to come here to bathe in the water that the volcano has created. If you throw sizzling water into the atmosphere in Antarctica, it will instantly evaporate because of the extremely low temperatures. Some molecules can turn into steam, while others could rapidly convert into ice crystals. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments section. Also, at last, give a like to this video. See you soon.